world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
Oh, darn, I'm just like looking. Okay, yay, stop the applause, stop. You don't have to give applause. Hey, everyone, welcome to Curious Times. It's Tuesday, January 10th, 2017. Melissa Bruce is here, the heavy metal psychic. And she's got a little bit of a throat chakra issue going on. And so however long her voice lasts is how long the show lasts. And so, we'll see how, I don't like to actually keep people if they're not feeling well. So, Kate, what else is coming up tomorrow? Kathleen Morris here. That is total empathy right there. That is empath right now happening right before your very eyes. Okay. Kathleen Morris here tomorrow. Alicia DiPietro will be interviewing Jen Young as part of our new little experiment of getting guest interviewers to interview our regular people. Salva Dutton is here Friday. Saturday, Yvette Howell. Yay! Sunday, Pamela Vincent. Yay! Monday, Diana Monroe. And a week from tonight, it's Lisa Nolan Chalosky. The heavy metal psychic, of course, is Melissa Bruce. She's an astrologer, a medium, a tarot reader, intuitive, and a life coach, and a you name it, and a mother, and a wife, and her passion in life is to help others see how they can change their own lives. And so that is the key, is none of us can actually do the work for anyone, but we can try to help each other out, and the heavy lifting has to be done by the person seeking to change their life. She currently does teach, or I don't know if currently, but she does teach online courses that are available through her website. She teaches students how to use their own mediumship abilities, how to read their own astrology birth charts, and how to own their lives and their destinies by teaching them about themselves through personal development. To find out more about Melissa, you can go to her website, www.heavymetalpsychic.com, and Facebook, Heavy Metal Psychic. And Melissa is, of course, the host of her own show every Friday called The Heavy Metal Psychic at paramaniaradio.com, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And so here comes Happy New Year. Hello. So sorry that you're sick.
Well, that's how I started off the new year, with whatever this horrible thing that's going around is going around. It literally got me on New Year's Eve, right in the middle of making our big dinner. So, but I'm lucky. It only lasted about a week. I'm hearing that people that are getting it, it's lasting 2 or 3 weeks. People are in and out of the hospital with it. People have died from it. It's really an aggressive, I don't know, strain of flu or whatever it is. And so I've been very fortunate that I just have the nagging cough part of it, but I'm not actually dying. Last week, on the other hand, I was pretty sure I was a goner. So
Or you wanted to be.
One or the other, yeah. I did get to the point where I was like, oh, just kill me already and get it over with, because I can't take it no more.
So how I ended my year, which you might not be aware of yet, I don't know if you remember, I had this bad tooth happening for a long time and everything else, this back molar. And so I worked it, and finally, just before the end of the year, I pulled the sucker off.
Pulled it out.
thusly saving about $500,
Right?
Needles. You didn't have to have needles.
No needles. Right? I know my stepmom, wing sister Sherry Gamble, most of the teeth that she has out, she took them out herself. She didn't want to go to the dentist. She's terrified of the dentist. So I'm not as brave as you guys are. That must be a Sagittarian thing, because I'm like, I don't care about the needle. I don't want to have to deal with it.
Well, and now I've had molars taken out by the dentist, and now fair enough, this thing worked, it was loose and everything, and I worked it. But the pain, my big joke is that, as soon as the moment I pulled my tooth didn't hurt no more.
Right.
Get it? The tooth was out.
Right. No, I use that analogy all the time because it's true.
It's not the tooth that hurts, actually. It's the stuff. It's the mouth. And so, but seriously, the minute I pulled the tooth out, I didn't have any pain at all. There was hardly any bleeding, but it was loose. I kept working. Finally, that last night, it worked out so that it was already almost out on the back, on the inside here. So it was hanging on by the other. And I just
that one little thread right there. It must have been going back to childhood, when you got loose teeth, and when you're a kid, you just sort of kind of work it till it comes out.
Yeah. Well, I did some reading, and it's not wise to pull your own molars and that. However, I read how they do it, and they jam shit in there, and they pry it, and they do. No wonder you hurt afterwards, And so not only
if it's loose, it's going to give. But they're talking about pulling a tooth out that's not loose, and they have to go in there and wiggle it around and loosen it before they can pull it out.
A lot of trauma. So at the end of the day, it was way better for me to work it loose a little bit at a time, and ultimately get it. And so then I started my new year by just about cutting my finger off.
Why not?
And,
right?
I know. Thank God. God gave us a bone in our finger to prevent it from being cut all the way off. So that's my worst news this year so far is that I cut myself. No big deal.
Well, that's not too bad, actually. It could be way worse than that. So.
Yeah, I could just about be dead from the flu like you. You know what I mean? So I'm not. Right.
I'm not dead. Yeah. I'm actually happy that I did get it over with. I mean, I got it immediately. And what was funny was we had friends come in from out of town for the whole weekend for New Year's because it's, it doesn't fall on a weekend very often, and we make the most of it when it does because we're all home and we had 3 days off or 4 days off to be able to, to have fun and hang out. And like I said, I started to get sick on New Year's Eve, right in the middle of making dinner. I had this whole house full of people, these kids running around and all of this stuff, and I started to feel it coming on, and then I got the chills and everything. Long story short, by 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve, I was in bed and out like a light. And my husband was up early, so he was in bed at that time, and my friends who were staying were in bed, and all of a sudden we just started laughing. It's 2017 is the year we got old. This is literally the first time we've all been asleep before. Nobody got drunk. I mean, it was just wow, I didn't see that one coming, and we all tried so hard, but we just, it's been such a rough year that we were all exhausted that last day. We're like, we can't even do that last couple of hours. I just want to sleep through it and wake up in 2017. That's pretty much what we did.
It's just as well, you know what I mean? And either way, my whole thing this year was I changed the way I was thinking about New Year's, and a lot of people think about New Year's as near the end of a year unless they won the fucking lottery or something. Pardon my F word.
Oh, we can do that on this show? On my show, I get in trouble.
Well, every now and then if it slips out by accident.
Don't tell me that. It'll happen way too often.
And, unless you won the lottery, most people by the end of the year, they're already going, oh, I can't wait till this year's over, and I can't wait till next year. And I thought, no matter how bad a year's been, it's maybe a good thing to send off the last year with love and respect and honor it for the lessons it brought to you, or just all that kind of unicorn and rainbow shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
It's a different way of thinking about it, because even through our bad times, we're actually learning something and growing. And so I'm trying that this year, and I totally look at last year with love and respect, and give it its appropriate place of honor in my history.
Right.
And move forward onto the new and unknown things that are going to be the future. And so I'm going to see if that slight shift in attitude might make any kind of a difference at all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it'll help tremendously. And I had a client last month that I met with, and we did a specific reading, and this was his idea, not something that I've done before. A specific reading to cut the cords to, what's happened in the year, basically. Because a lot of the time, what happens is we wind up taking it, first we go, oh, I'm so glad it's a new year and everything's going to be so much better because this year was crap. And then we wind up going right into the next year, and there is no change. Because, it's really, not a magic pill. All of a sudden it's January 1st and everything is different. But also, it doesn't change because you're still holding on to the past and what happened. And there's certain things that I've been seeing over the last week and a half or so. People are still harping on how many people died last year. And even though it was, a bit traumatic, there was some, people that, they're celebrities, but people that we had grown up with. I mean, the very end there, to lose Carrie Fisher and then her mother right after that was really sad. Those of us that had grown up with her our whole lives, and I literally lived 3 whole months without that stinking movie in my life because I was born 3 months before Star Wars came out. All of these things, it was very, it was kind of like a slap to the face. But here we are a week and a half later, and people are still posting lists of all the people that died, and it's like, okay, they died. Get over it. Move on. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Nobody's died yet here. Let's, basically, people want to keep this going. They don't want to cut the ties with it and move on into something new. They want to keep this misery going on a lot of different things. And they still want to complain about 2016. It's 10 days into the new year. Get over it. Move on, because if you don't, it's going to be the same.
Yeah. I look at that whole Carrie Fisher and her mother situation, Debbie Reynolds, very interesting, shows you that because they had a little bit of a rocky patch in their relationship together, and and yet the depth of the love and the connection between the two is beyond anything that I can recall in any other two people. That she basically willed herself to death. You know what I mean, Debbie Reynolds?
She did. Yeah. Did.
And listening to her son explain the process, and he's okay with it because he knows that that's what I mean is like, what a great way to die. Like Debbie Reynolds died, other than the deep sadness that she must have felt, to find that her daughter was dead.
Yeah.
Was what a great way to die. What an excellent way to die. And so, I look at that and I go, that's a beautiful love story unto its own. And so I think fondly of their passing in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do too. Not even death separated the two of them because they were very close, even though they had, like you said, rocky patches in their relationship. What parent and child don't have those rocky, times?
But not all of them can come together in the way that they did and have such a beautiful ongoing connection. And so, that's just awesome. And, I'm not, Carrie Fisher was somewhat of a tortured soul too, and so, all in all, I always try to look at the brighter, look at it from the perspective of the person that's gone. And that saves me from getting too deep in grief usually. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and,
I totally understand that. And normally I do too. But I think for myself, as well as a lot of light workers or people like myself that are working in this field, the empathy, the things that you're picking up around the world even, and just the very low feeling, the actual circumstances that took place, lessons or no lessons, it doesn't really matter. There was a lot of heavy experiences that a lot of us, I think, felt. In fact, I think a lot of light workers were getting sick towards the end there, because nobody else in my house got this plague. I'm the only one who got it, and had to suffer through it. And I think it's because there was just, we were called upon to do so much in some ways that it literally, I know for me, it made me feel like it drained everything that I had. And that's why I was kind of open to whatever the hell this is that's going around. And I didn't know, I didn't get it from anybody that I know. I mean, I must have, just picked it up at the store or something like that, but, which is scary. And you can't even protect yourself because you can't not go to the store. I mean, you just have to do what you can. And I did everything that I normally did. It didn't, pass it by like it normally would have. But it did make it a lot easier. A lot shorter, anyway.
Everybody's human, and there's it's a time too where we can get rid of some toxins in our own selves and that too. So timing is good in a way. I mean, who wants to be sick New Year's Eve? But I mean, it's out with the old. You know what I'm saying? And so
I'm just glad it's not my birthday. I'm just glad that it's not my birthday. And I do have to say, because I just happened to be looking the other day, as a matter of fact, that when I come back next month, not that I normally am, busy looking at, ahead, but when I come back next month, it's actually going to be the day before mine and Kareen's birthday. So we're actually to be Valentine's Day. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. If it was on my actual birthday, I'd have to say, sorry, Chris, I love you, but no. So luckily it's the day before, because I don't do anything on my birthday except for whatever I want.
I'm going to boycott the word Valentine's and love and everything on that day.
Well, just celebrate our birthday. I'm perfectly fine with that. I could give a shit about Valentine's Day. Okay, it's all about my birthday as far as I'm concerned. I'm a true Aquarian.
Yeah, we'll have a birthday bash for Kareen and
I think she should come on the show, and everybody should give us readings for a change, because it's our birthday. This, just there's an idea anyways. How about that?
Yeah. Sure. Cool. So what do you think about, now did you ever, I realize you need specific birth information, time of birth and stuff that you wouldn't have necessarily for Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds, but did you look astrologically at all, at anything to do with them?
No, not them personally. That kind of stuff is pretty easy to find, actually, if you could believe that, for celebrities. Because, things like birth records and stuff are pretty, they're public. But no, I didn't. I didn't do that for anybody, actually. To be honest with you, when I do astrology, I don't necessarily look into those things, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. What I can say is that, the astrologically, what we've been going through, in the last few months, and how the planets are lining up, it's a bit tough, actually, especially as these three planets, Uranus and Jupiter and Pluto, how they're lining up into this T-square in cardinal signs, which want to improve, they want to move forward, they want to keep, going and doing what it is that they want to do. And, a T-square like this kind of sort of slows you down and makes it so that you can't. I'm watching my husband, who's a cardinal sign, a Libra, going through this right now with this new job of his that I swear to God, one of these days I'm going to kill him for getting this new job because I absolutely flat out hate it. But every little thing that can possibly go wrong to prevent him from making decent money is happening, whether it's the truck breaking down or whether it's the trailer breaking down, or right now where the passes are so completely covered with snow and we're getting so much rain right now that they can't even get where they want to go at this particular point. And why these people are sending them over passes when we knew this was coming, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the people that he works for smoke weed, and whatever kind of weed they're smoking, it's not what the rest of us are smoking, okay? It's something that puts them up there in the universe or something. Because they just don't make any sense at all to me. And so, it's just no matter how much he tries to, he tries to do better, something comes in that's completely out of his control and it screws everything up. And, is this there to teach him something? Well, of course it's there to teach him something, but that doesn't mean that I don't have to be annoyed as hell while I'm sitting here waiting for him to learn, So, that's been kind of a difficulty. The other good thing, though, is that Mercury is direct, no more Mercury retrograde, and all planets are direct right now until about mid-February. Not one planet in retrograde until mid-February, which is really good. I think we need that kind of energy, this, it's forward movement energy. We're able to actually use all of the planet's influences and energies in a positive way rather than have it mirrored back to us to try and figure out how to use it. So that's a really good thing, too. And I'm trying to kind of harness that energy, but I just really feel like still very lazy. Like I don't have the energy to, I better get the energy by this weekend because I've got a weekend full of parties. Yeah. But, until then it's just like, I still feel like I'm dragging my way through it. So we'll see how that goes.
That is interesting to know. Like we could, if the world could use anything, then it is to say that there's nothing in retrograde right now because we need all the help we can get moving forward. And,
we really do, and especially at the beginning of the year is a good time to do this. And I keep seeing these things on Facebook. This is a rare astrological event. It's really not that rare. It happens all the time. At least once a year, we find ourselves in a position where everything is moving forward. But we've got, a good month or just over a month where there's no retrograde. So that's good. I mean, we need, of course, to enjoy that as much as possible and use it as much as we can. But those people in that T-square line, Libra and Capricorn and Aries, are going to have a little bit of a rougher time because of the way those planets are lining up with each other.
Right. All in all, what do you think about the year coming up? Going to be, of course, every year has its rocky patches and that kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. And this T-square is not something that's going away anytime soon. We're looking at having it till about July or August. Because, of course, all those planets are going to go into retrograde position at some point. They all do. And so that is going to be a little bit of a difficulty. I'm going to say that what it's going to cause for everybody overall is that as much as you want to burn through and burn forward, you're not going to be able to. Something's always going to be kind of slowing you down a little bit, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Depends on how you look at it. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to race through, you're not paying attention to what's happening. So this aspect is actually giving us the opportunity to slow down and pay attention to what we're doing so that we're not missing anything. Always when I start talking.
I know, right?
And then, I know, for an Aquarian, this is a really tough thing to not be able to talk. I think this is my lesson, to be honest with you. But as for overall, there's not a lot of major aspects taking place other than that one. 2017 numerologically, I should say, is a 1 year, so it's all about new beginnings. It's no wonder 2016 was such a pain in the ass, because we were ending cycles, and if we didn't realize we were supposed to end these cycles, which is not an easy thing to do, the death process is difficult regardless of what you're going through that process for. And for me, a lot of things died. The written horoscopes in any form died. The video horoscopes came real close, real close, just because of the changes that are going on around us right now. There's just certain things that I retired and don't do anymore because I just simply don't have the time to do them, and they're not, there wasn't like a huge amount of people that it was drawing, and on top of it, it wasn't doing anything for me at that point. It worked out in the beginning, it wasn't doing anything for me anymore. It had to go in order to make room for new things. So I think that overall, it is going to be a very good year. It's going to be a very positive year. Things are not going to stay the same as they have been. And I think this is the big thing. When you're talking about a 1 year, it's not just about new beginnings for us personally. It's new beginnings for all across the globe and all around the world. Here in the United States right now, and my political opinions are not in this, well, we are about to have a president with no political experience whatsoever. Now, a lot of people are scared about that. A lot of people are excited about that because it means that things are not going to keep going the way that they have been going. They're going to change. Whether it's good change or a bad change is irrelevant. And he's got a lot of good ideas. I'm just not sure if he can keep his mouth shut and stop saying something stupid long enough to implement those ideas, unfortunately. But it's definitely not going to remain the way that it was. And that's, in a lot of ways, a good thing because there's certain parts of the system that have grown stagnant. Was watching Downton Abbey recently, which is a fantastic show. If anybody hasn't seen it and you happen to like any kind of historical, documentary TV shows, it's wonderful. And it was around the turn of the last century when major change took place over the course of World War I, and, the class system, there was a huge divide, and it started to get a lot smaller and a lot smaller and a lot smaller. And, of course, the people that had been living the life the way that, and of course they were benefiting from it too because they had all the money, they didn't want the change. And of course the poor people, they were going to gain something out of it. They wanted the change. And so you can see where there was a struggle for the change, but ultimately it worked out in the long run overall for most people. And so I think this is a lot of what we're going to be seeing in 2017. Does that necessarily mean that all of a sudden everybody that's poor is not going to be poor anymore? No, not really. But I think that people who are poor that can do something about it will probably be a little bit more held accountable for their actions rather than being thrown into the group of poverty-stricken people who are just poverty-stricken because they're on disability or, they're on SSI and things like that. There are certain parts of our lives that we need to save because if we don't save them, we're not going to have them anymore. And that would be really unfortunate, especially for things like Social Security. For people in my generation, they're threatening us that we're not going to have it. Well, I'm sorry, I paid into it. You better damn well give it to me. That's how I feel about it. But that fear of taking it away, that needs to change. Something needs to be done about that. So I think some things are going to be fixed that were broken, and I'm sure that we're going to break other things in the process because this is just, how it goes. But I think it's going to be very exciting. I think there's going to be a lot of adventure in 2017, and I think a lot of the rules are going to be rewritten this year too, which I'm excited about.
And so that's the States. How about the world? Have any thoughts on the world?
the world is really going to depend on, each individual country, of course, but I think overall the world, the change is coming. And everybody is acclimating themselves to the change. Some countries it'll be easier, for some than others. I mean, obviously countries that are extreme traditionalists like the English and stuff like that are going to have a really hard time because they don't like change very well, those English. They like to be English and everybody else is everybody else, but the English are the English. I don't see any major catastrophes as it's pouring down rain and they're threatening us with floods here in California. I don't see any major catastrophes necessarily. But I think what I want to see more than anything in 2017 is overall, regardless of what country you're from, people growing up, for God's sakes, people growing up and being accountable again. And I think that it really needs to happen because as soon as we, sit back and we whine and we complain about how things aren't going the way that we want them to go without actually getting up and doing anything about it, we're putting ourselves in a very dangerous position. And we've already put ourselves in that very dangerous position. So it always has to get worse before it gets better. And so we may be seeing that as a whole. I don't see any major wars taking place or anything like that. But, to be honest with you, and this isn't just because of what I heard necessarily because of what Trump is going to do here in the United States, but I do see that we're not just going to be able to move freely, like with our borders, Canada and Mexico. We're not just going to be able to just move freely through those borders, not like it was. Things are going to change a little bit more. Not drastically, I don't see that huge wall he's talking about building between, us and Mexico. I don't see that happening. I don't see where the money is coming from if it's not coming out of his own bank account to do that. But I do see that things are going to be a little bit more control over them. Not because it's a bad thing now, but because it's more about paying attention so that we don't get, not just us, but you guys, so that, we're not placed in these positions where we're getting ourselves in trouble. 9/11, you guys were dragged into that without even realizing it because they came through Canada in order to get into the United States. They didn't fly in here. They flew into Canada and they crossed the Canadian border to get in here, and then they did whatever it was that they did, blew up planes and all of that stuff. So it's certain things like that. It is going to look really scary at first. It definitely, and especially because here in the United States, the entire world is waiting to see what we're going to do. Because the countries that want control, of course, are waiting on bated breath to see if there's any weaknesses. That's going to affect everybody, really, when you think about it. But I think that it'll all smooth out and things will be a little bit better than they have been and a little less unsettled. I also see that certain things like that have been taking place recently, certain terrorist groups, all of those different things that have been going on, things are just going to smooth themselves out with that. It's almost like they just disappear and you don't see them anymore. And we're not even going to know how it happened. It's just like the Ebola virus. All of a sudden, we all have to be mindful of the Ebola virus because it's popping up here and it's popping up there and it's popping up over here. Somebody died and then boom, it was gone. And you never heard about it again. This is what's going to happen with some of these extremist groups, which kind of sounds weird, but it happens that way.
Yeah. Well, I was going to actually ask you, it's funny you said that, because I was going to ask you if along the way you've ever received either intuitively, psychically, or any other way, any idea of ISIS and their longevity. Listen, if ISIS disappears, there's going to be another organization, but
there always is.
ISIS has been particularly nasty and I think unprecedented. All of the other past ones, they've had their hostages, and they've killed, but none in such a public, videotaping and such a gruesome horrifying way of killing these people that were really just innocent people. You know what I mean? And so I just wondered if what you maybe thought about ISIS and is anything major going to happen to?
I think that one is the major one that's just going to literally disappear all of a sudden. And it's going to be very strange how all of a sudden you go from hearing about it and seeing it all the time to boom, you don't hear anything about it. And it will make people wonder. I mean, just like how the Ebola virus just disappeared, it's going to make people wonder, because I really feel, and I do get a lot of insight on on certain things. And sometimes it's difficult for me to decipher between what's insight and what's my own fear. Like this plague, for example. I feel that this isn't a normal flu strain. This is something that somebody invented for some reason. And I don't know why they invented it, but I'm going to say maybe they invented it for people who didn't get the flu shot to scare them into getting the flu shot for whatever reason. I'm one of those people that will not get a flu shot. I'm very against a flu shot and the pneumonia shot and the chickenpox shot and all of that other bullshit that they're giving us right now. I think that they're giving us too many vaccinations, and I question their motives on why they're giving us all of these vaccinations, and that they're trying to force us to take these vaccinations on top of it. But groups like ISIS, I feel, are in the forefront for other reasons other than the fact that they're putting themselves in the forefront. Somebody else is behind this. When that somebody else is gone, poof, they're going to be gone too. And that right there is going to be the quote-unquote proof that I need that my intuition was correct. I'm not going to say who that somebody is. And yes, I do live in California, and the plague is floating around all over the country. People are literally coming down with it all over the place. But there is a lot of people here in California that are coming down with it. So it's a more aggressive strain than any other flu that I've ever had. That bird flu that we had at one time, it's very similar to that. It just makes you feel like this is the end. I literally spent a week in bed because I really couldn't do much else. Not that I was sleeping, because I couldn't sleep either. So yeah, I do think that we're going to see a lot less of ISIS in 2017. At least I sure hope so, because I'm sick and tired of hearing about him. I'm sick and tired of hearing about most of this crap.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so how's your throat holding out?
So far so good.
Okay, so there's somebody called Peter. Peter, are you there waiting for a reading, or are you just listening? And same with you, Salva. Are you just listening? I'm just trying to get a grab on an idea on if we have callers for readings, or if we're just gonna. Okay, Salva would love a reading. And Peter, what about you? Welcome to the show, Peter. Done. So we'll give you a bit of a break. Even though I know you're hydrating with water, and that's definitely good, the best thing for a cough, hot coffee.
I've been drinking it all day, and it's drying my throat out. That's why I switched to the water before the show. But I'm going back to my coffee right afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, so Peter wants a reading too. So there's two people. So do you want a little bit of a break now? We can do a song break, and then we can take two callers, and then we'll see where we're at after that.
That works.
Okay. All right. So you can go ahead and go and do here. I'll mute you so that you can make whatever noises you want. And we haven't played Brandy in a while, Brandy Carlisle. And so let me find. We'll do the story because I haven't heard it in a while. Love this song. Love almost all her songs. And so here.
Are you looking for a place to meet like-minded people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you. Intuitalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or radio or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the All Spiritual, all under one roof network, www.intuitalks.com.
All right. So we're back. A quick shout out. Thank you guys, everybody who's here and listening, and thanks also to those guys that are listening in the archives on a regular basis. We sure do wish you could be here live with us, but glad that you're checking the show out afterwards when you're able to. Amy's here. Boo Boo, how you doing? Boo Boo, let's go get a picnic. Okay. Boo Boo's here. Christy Who, the artist formerly known as Christy. Now CJ. Dan the man. And Marie is here. What you cooking, Marie? What you cooking? And Melissa is our guest, of course. Peter Dunn is brand new. Welcome to the show, Peter. And Selva, our regular Friday night guest, Selva Dutton. And nothing. Oh, you're sick with the damn cold again. What's with you Californian wimpos over there? You know what I mean? Just kidding. Just kidding. 'Cause you know what? Now I'm going to get sick, right? Just because. That'll teach me. Okay. So thanks everybody. We're going to go ahead and get Melissa. Okay.
It's the rain. It's the rain. We're going to be needing canoes here real soon to get around town. That's what it is. Yeah. But we need it. Yeah. We need it so much. We really do. So.
Well, I was telling friends in the UK, particularly the UK, put a boat in your backyard because you're going to need it one day, you know?
The UK went through this a couple years ago. They kept saying it was Avalon rising because half the country was underwater.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at the size of them, like if a tsunami, good night.
Right. It's a good thing they don't get a lot of those. We don't either, but we had our El Nino last year, and we actually had a hurricane on the west coast of the United States, which is not something that happens very often, but it does happen every once in a blue moon, and I guess we had that last year, so hopefully we can stand another 20 years before that happens again.
And same with the guys, both you guys on the edges of the world over there on the east and the west. I'm always like, I'm staying right where I am because one of these days, because I'm the second most western province in Canada, and I'm about central Alberta. I'm about central north versus south and east versus west, so right about central, hence the word central. And and so British Columbia is, west of me, and they of course are on the ocean, and so I'm thinking, I'll have oceanfront property maybe one day. I'm staying right where I am. And,
right, you're in the perfect spot just in case.
And then by the time that Alberta gets swallowed up by the ocean, I'll be long dead, and maybe I'll I need to talk to somebody that can really truly do like future, because if you can do a past life reading, I don't know why you couldn't do a future life reading. And I want to find somebody who I can believe that would tell me one way or another if I'm really going to have another life or if this really is it for me. And I know that we decide that, but I also know that it's if I got to decide it, the answer would be, are you fucking kidding me?
I want to go back there. Are you serious? I'm told, I can't give you details on your next life, but I'm told this is not the end for you. You'll be back. So you can go around telling everybody, I'll be back.
Yeah, and my higher self is the one making it. And knowing my higher self, I'll be continuing to choose challenging lives. And being cannon fodder for someone else's life. Because it helps. Because the world needs people like me, And,
that's right.
And so, anyway. Okay, now tell the two people that are waiting in queue what you can and are prepared to do tonight, because you are a medium and a psychic and an astrologer and a tarot reader, and so what do you?
I'm not going to be doing. I'm not going to be doing a lot of tarot today, but I can do, I'm going to say short readings, and I think we need to keep them to these two because I think after this I'm pretty much going to be done. I'm having a hard time breathing here because it's just the talking. My throat gets dry, and then I start choking, and then it's all over. So I don't really want to spend the rest of the show doing that. That's going to be wonderful for your listeners that come back on demand. But
right.
If you have a specific question, I will answer it. Those of you that are already there.
Yeah. So a specific question, and so let's go. Let's go Peter first, since he's brand new to the show. Hi, Peter.
Hi there. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks.
Hi, Peter.
What's up, Mister? You must be a friend of Salva's.
I am.
See, I'm psychic.
I always knew you were.
Yeah. And so, do you have a question on your mind, or?
Yeah, look, I've been subscribed to some online psychics, and getting readings, and they're all saying the same thing, that the 13th of this month is a huge day for me. And I'm really skeptical of what they say, because all they ever want is money, right? They all say, you answer this you give me money for this, and then I'll cast this spell or this ritual and this sort of stuff, and something will happen to you, but which has had me really skeptical about them. But for all four of them to say that the 13th of December, something's going to happen in my life, has got me wondering, well, is it?
You mean January?
No. It's like Friday, this coming Friday, yeah.
This coming Friday. It's Friday the 13th, too. Although, of course, it's not for... Are you in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Were you the one that just said you're in New Zealand? So, actually, it's not Friday the 13th for you, is it? Because you guys are a day ahead of us.
No, the dates still work the same. Our Friday is still the 13th. Right. It's just the hours.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So, it'll be our 14th. Okay, never mind. Just forget me trying to use my brain there for a second. It didn't work all of a sudden.
15th will be our 12th. We'll be on Thursday the 12th when he's on Friday the 13th.
All right, got you. Okay. First of all, let me ask, do you know what your sun sign is, or when's your birthday? Just the day and the month.
Taurus.
You're a Taurus. So you like to bull your way through things. Okay. Yes, actually, I think that the 13th is going to be a really good day for you. The energies are going to be changing for you on the 13th. And I am a firm believer that Friday the 13th is a very lucky day, not an unlucky day. For me personally, it's always been a money-making day, or money comes my way or something. I get some sort of gain out of Friday the 13th. It's rarely ever a bad luck day like everybody says that it is. But I feel that a lot of things have been stagnant for you lately. Like you've been trying to either get something started, or you've been trying to get something moving, and it just seems like you are running into obstacle after obstacle. And the 13th seems to be the cork that sort of pops, and things start to move forward, and they're going to start moving forward at a very rapid rate too. So you want to be prepared for that. Maybe take a day to rest tomorrow before Friday comes along, so that you can be prepared for that, because it seems like you go from trying to push things through, and when they're not budging, and then boom, it just starts moving after this weekend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I want to tell you is, if you come across, now a lot of readers will give you a little bit of a mini reading for free, but a lot of them do charge. I'm one of those people that if you want a reading from me and I'm not on a show, I'm going to charge you for it.
No, that's fine. I don't object to that at all, but I don't like this confusing
spells, charms, that kind of stuff. You want to stay away from those people altogether, because those are not valid mediums, okay? But they are correct. The 13th has a big impact where things are literally going to turn around and start moving forward. There's this is why I have a hard time doing readings when I have this cough, because I start to talk fast. There's a lady around you also that you've been working with. This is a partnership. I see there's a multi-relationship with this woman, okay? And a lot of what is going to start moving is has to do with her, because she's really had a hard time in the last several weeks especially. I feel like things are just piling on her left and right. And she's feeling like she can't, like she doesn't have the energy to follow through with what you guys are doing. But things are going to change for her drastically also. So tell her to get prepared, and get ready. The last thing that I'm being shown is a boat. I don't know if you guys are planning on taking a trip. I know somebody said they were going to take a cruise, but I don't think it was you. But I do see a trip on a boat. I don't see from one land to another, but it's almost like there's a big river that goes through your country that you're taking this boat trip on. So I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to throw it out there for you anyway so that you can keep an eye on that.
Yeah, there's New Zealand has 2 islands, and we have an area between the two that large boats go across to get from one island to the other. So.
Okay. So you're going to be seeing quite a bit of that boat, I feel, as you're going back and forth in the next few months. And finances, of course, are a worry in this whole thing, because I do feel you've invested some money in this, and you want to make sure that it pays out and that you didn't waste your money. Don't worry about that. It's going to pay out. Their 3s are all around you right now, so they're saying it's going to pay out times 3. Which is a really good thing. You're also going to be investing that into the next part of your process. So 2017, you better be ready to work, my dear, because it's time it's really time for you to do a lot of things that you've been wanting to do. This is not doing it because you have to do it. These are things that you've been wanting to do, and things are taking off. I keep getting that over and over again. Taking off.
Well, that's brilliant. Yeah. Okay. No, I can totally relate to all of what you're saying. I mean, I have got a lot of things that are teetering on the edge. Just need to go over the edge for my life to change, and I feel that's what you're telling me.
That's exactly it. And they are spot on about the 13th. The 13th is all the luck of Friday the 13th is in your favor. So things are literally Friday morning, you're going to wake up and start getting phone calls. The news is going to come in. Things are moving forward. So get ready.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I must get a proper reading off you. How do I work the system so that I can do that?
You can find me on Facebook. Just look up the Heavy Metal Psychic on Facebook. There's only one. If there's another one, let me know so I can kick her ass out of there. Or you can go to my...
I found it and I've liked you. Okay, right.
Okay, yeah, just message me there, and if you have Skype, that's usually the easiest way going from one country to another. But I have worked with people in New Zealand over the phone. I don't know how that works, but it seems to work for some.
Yeah, no, I've got Skype. That's fine. We can do that. Okay.
Awesome. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Good luck, Peter. You sound like a real nice guy, and it sounds like you deserve some good stuff coming your way.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope I am a nice guy.
I think you're a nice guy, and I'm usually right most of the time, so.
Yeah. No, I assure you two ladies that I am.
Okay.
Peter on hold, and one more, and it's Salva. Hello, Salva. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Couldn't be better, thank you.
I'm sorry you got that cold, Melissa. Please take some honey and lemon.
Warm honey and lemon,
or have a hot toddy. Get some port and put in it, put it in the microwave for 20 seconds, and scull it like a shooter.
I have been. Whiskey has been my good friend, let me tell you, and I'm not a drinker. I can't really handle the honey though, because it does something to my throat. But I have been doing that for the past week and a half or so. Lots of honey.
Or if you know those doTERRA oils, get some bodyguard oil and just take a couple of drops under your tongue. That'll work as well. There's a lot of ways that you can. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's something that I haven't tried yet.
Yeah. No worries. Anyway, what can you tell me about March for this year?
March for this year. Okay, first thing I see is balloons. So there's a celebration or a party that's taking place March of this year. And this is not a regular, like, birthday party, anniversary party. I mean, I do see an element of that, but this is a celebration. This is a celebration of success. So I see something that you've been working on pretty much coming to a head in March. Or I get the words, I finally made it. So whatever it is, whatever direction you've been going, March is big. Things are really going to start to come out and grow for you around that time. And I hear the Ides of March, so that tells me it's about right around the middle of the month for you. I'm also being shown really, really, really busy from March, April, May, June, all 4 of those months. You've got a lot of stuff happening in those months, one thing after another after another. I'm told to take some care, take breaks when you can, take time for yourself, and they're very specific. You need quiet time, okay? Not, I'm going to sit here and rest amongst all of these people, but you need absolute quiet time, meditation time, or time to give me the words. Time to really dump all the energies around you and kind of sort of reground and rebubble. Does that make sense?
Not really holidays in April. I'm going to be doing meditation every day, actually, in April. In May, I'm going to Brazil to a healing center. So it's going to be completely rest, recreational type of stuff.
This is a good thing, but like I'm saying, there's going to be people around you a lot. You need to separate yourself from all of the energy around you, okay?
Yeah, I do that.
The healing center and all that. So, and it can't be in a place where there's a lot of people. So when I said that earlier, I'm seeing like a hotel lobby. This isn't going to work. You need absolute silence. Your brain kind of goes a mile a minute. So when you're trying to rest and there's a lot of noise going around, it mimics what's going on in here, and then you can't shut that down. So you need that quiet time. I'm also being shown you're not going alone. You're going with somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need a separate time from that person also. Alone time. I'm also being shown, okay. All right. I'm being shown dominoes in the sense that when you knock over one domino, it causes that domino effect where everything gets knocked over. Does that make sense? But this is not in a negative way. It's a positive way. We've done the negative domino effect, and now we're doing the positive. So one good thing leads to another good thing leads to another good thing, okay? And I'm also being shown that this year is going to be big for you in terms of your own spiritual growth. You've been hearing spirit and you've been seeing spirit a lot more lately than you have in the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Okay. You're going to be hearing them more, and you're going to be seeing them more. You already feel them a lot. This is the year where you start to really learn how to work with that. So it's not so much, okay, I heard somebody say hello, and instead of saying, all right, did I really hear somebody say hello? Is there really somebody there, or is that in my head? Instead of doing that, you'll learn to work with it and say, who said hello? State your business so that, we can take care of what you need and then move on. All right? This getting into this kind of learning for you is really going to begin for you this year. You've already kind of dabbled a little bit, but it's time to get out of the dabbling, stop sticking your toes in, and jump in the pool. This is what I'm being told. So I hope that makes sense for you.
I'm looking forward to the learning. I'm looking forward to the learning.
It's tons of fun. It's tons of fun. I guarantee it. Of course, I know this because I've already been through it.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to learn a lot of things. I'm also seeing these aren't roses, but these are like big tropical red flowers with a yellow stem. And I'm not sure what kind of flower they are, but I'm seeing them all around you. I'm seeing them in your hair. Like you're wearing them in your hair, but I'm actually seeing them all around you, like you're being framed in these flowers. They do look like really big poppies, but I don't think that they are actual poppies. These flowers are a clue for you. Where you see them is where the clue is. They're drawing you in that direction. So if you see them, say around a spiritual center, that's the spiritual center that you want to go to. That's where you're going to find the help in the learning. Or if you see them around somebody else that's teaching the classes or whatever, this is what you're looking for. And the red is sort of this color right here behind me. I'm going the wrong way. This color right here behind me, this very deep red color, very pretty. But again, I don't know what kind of flower it is.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. I hope you get better.
Thank you. I'm getting there.
Good. All right.
I guess we'll see you Friday then, eh?
You sure will.
All right. You take it easy.
And I'll try and learn as much as I can from then.
Don't force it. You'll make yourself crazy. Trust me on that one.
She's being a smartass.
It's okay. From one smartass to another, don't force it.
I've been learning this for 50 years. I've been doing this, and so she's like being a smartass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
no, it's okay. It's okay. We all got lessons to learn. Always, every day. You never know all the answers.
That's true, and I always tell people if you ever come across somebody who thinks they do know all the answers, turn around and walk away because they don't know what they're talking about.
So that's what I was thinking when you said I'm going to get more busy and connect to spirit a lot more. I said, oh my God, I don't want more. I'm already there. I'm already busy with it. I just need a couple of breaks from it. You know?
Yes.
But it's good. There must be a reason. There must be something important.
There's a reason.
There's always a reason.
There's always a reason. And it does not necessarily mean you have to do mediumship as in, giving readings to people. This is very specific to you, what they're going to teach you.
Yeah.
Because they're the living people on the earth that can teach you, they're great. But they don't know shit. Not even me. They know everything up there. And so they're the source of learning.
I do understand. Yeah. I do understand. Thank you very, very much. And, take care.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So there we go. That's it. So Melissa, I think we should give you an early night then. Let you go rest your poor voice.
I appreciate it very much. But I couldn't not come on the show because I'm trying to redeem myself still from November, so.
Rock. No, you don't have really. You did it one time. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And so
I'd like to keep it that way.
So paramaniaradio.com, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Heavy Metal Psychic. Just Google it, for crying out loud. You'll find it.
Yeah.
And so go take care of yourself, and we'll look forward to the birthday party next month for you.
Yes, I can't wait. Yay. All right, guys. Thank you all, and I will see you guys next month.
Right on. You take it easy. Okay. So, peace out. And so, I don't know if you guys, I guess we could rap or I could just play music or something. I don't know what. If you guys are going to come on and talk, that's fine too. And so, I'm gonna leave it up to you. I'm leaving it up to you. And so I will find a quick song and then I'll come back and check things out and see where we're at. Here, let's do. All right, guys. So I think that's gonna be. Dan's there. Hi, Dan. Do you want to say hi or what? I doubt it. Trump has people to spell for him, you know what I mean? Hey, Dan, how's it going? I didn't touch nothing. I didn't touch you down.
No, I meant the Trump joke.
Oh. Yes, indeed. So what did you say, what's going on at your house?
Pinochle.
I don't even know what that is.
Me either. It's a card game and there's 12 women out there and I'm hiding in the bedroom with a cat.
Oh my God. 12 with. Oh my God. That's sad. And then you come here, well, at least there's not 12 here. You got like nothing but women around here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Guess that's a good thing, huh?
Worst things that could happen to a guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 So, were you to fend for yourself for supper tonight then, or did they all bring food? Was it all like a big potluck thing?
Oh, my wife made some chicken stew, but I just kind of left it. This is a homemade type. Started with the whole chicken. So, yeah.
Whole chicken?
Yeah, I just left that alone. I'll fend for myself when everybody's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get the crumbs or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to have tonight. I have some potatoes I have to get used up. Maybe I'll make homemade potato chips or something like that.
Well, don't cut yourself.
I know, right? I know. It's kind of, going to be okay.
So how do you make homemade potato chips? You just put them in the oven?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do it it takes forever because you don't have, but like, my favorite way is just really to put them on the George Foreman grill, you know what I mean? So really thinly sliced, put them on the George Foreman grill, but I do them in the oven too. If I'm in a real hurry to have, I'll throw some in there, and then 2 trays in the oven, you know what I mean? And then you can't have them overlaying each other, so you have to, there's only so many.
Oh.
I got to get a big tray, a big cookie sheet, a huge cookie sheet. Huge. That will fit the whole width of the oven, and get a couple of those, and then then that would be good. That'd be like a bag of chips, but it'd still be healthier, and I use olive oil, you know what I mean? And, so I just have a little Teflon brush, so I just brush it lightly with olive oil and get it in, and, it's all good, it's the closest thing to potato chips that I can have. I can't remember the last time I bought potato chips from a store.
Yeah. That could be better.
But I got a really good deal on, some, these couple bags of almonds, you know what I mean? And I love almonds, and so these I have to crack. And they were on sale. I got a good bunch of. Here, check this out. Here's all the money I saved yesterday. Almost everything I bought was on sale. So I got like these huge, the big coffee tins times 4. That's regular $17.99 or something. I got for like $9.99, or actually I saved $8.60 each. So 8 times 4 is 52, and $2.40, $35 I saved on coffee. And then I'm looking for how much do you think a bag of those almonds should cost?
Oh, no idea. I'm not a big almond guy.
So I paid $2 for a bag. I've gotten them before on sale for $1, but anyway, $2 regular, $5.50. So I got 2 bags of those. That's my junk food. Whoops. Goes one. I'll be good for the night. That's good. Except that sometimes I get one. I kept on wrecking my baby finger last night because I got a couple that were too big, like to crack. And so I was trying, and somehow like this here, and then it slips out, and then this goes like that onto my baby finger. It's like, get your baby finger out of there. You know what I mean? Learn. And so anyway, I love cracking nuts. I love busting nuts, you know. So anyway, other than that, my total grocery bill, like I saved a total of $70. So I paid $161, and I saved 70. So that was 6 and 7. This would be $232 or something, and I paid $161. So that's not bad. I did pretty good yesterday. And then of course I found that I got
Uncle
that
Ben's?
free Uncle Ben's rice in the parking lot, you know. So that was my lucky day. Other people find wallets, and I find a freaking a bag of fucking rice, you know.
You do know you're recording, right?
I am. I know. I said the F word about 5 times.
Okay, just a heads up. I don't want you to get in trouble with the host.
I know. With the host, I know, right? Host is fine. I'm kind of on the ins with the host, you know?
Well, I hear she'll catch you if you're bad.
It's only like depends on her mood, you know? And so, if she likes you, then you can get away with murder around her. If she doesn't like you, that's it. You're done. And, she, of course, is me. And, most days I kind of like myself, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna wrap. Tomorrow it's Kathleen. Good luck dealing with all those women, Dan. Hopefully you can eat sometime before midnight.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully.
On the work night, all the women getting together, eh? On the work night.
Yeah, it's a once a month thing. Just happened to be at our house this month.
Oh, I see. So they switch it out.
Yeah.
Anyone know where Heath is? We're going to send a search party out for Heath soon. You know what I mean?
Well, he said he was coming to Seattle. I was chatting with him privately, and I'm wondering if he's in Seattle. So, which, you know, he should have PM'd me or something. You know.
Right.
At least buy him a cup of coffee.
I know, Seattle's finest or something.
Yeah.
Mike, you just showed up just in time for us to leave, because we got nothing going on.
Oh, Mike's got to go.
Melissa's throat is sore, and so we let her go a little bit early. And so that's that. So anyway, we're back tomorrow, Kathleen Moore, and we'll have the full show then, and then even overtime. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. See you Friday, Silva. Everybody else, take care. We'll see you back here next time. And we're gone in 3, 2. Thanks, Dan. 1.
Good night.